believe that we stand out from the rest, but there are good reasons for that. Number one, of course, our assets, our projects. Our exploration projects are situated in some of the most up-and-coming salars that have attracted some of the world's largest lithium companies. And to be able to acquire and own property on these salars is a feat I think not many exploration companies can do.
Welcome back, everybody. My next guest is Nikolaos Cacos. He's the CEO of Argentina Lithium Energy Corp, trading on the TSX Venture under the symbol LIT, and in the United States under the symbol PNXLF. Nikolaos, welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me here.
Nikolaos, it's been several months. When's the last time we spoke to, well, we had Miles on, the Vice President of Exploration from Argentina, several months ago. What has changed in the company since that point in 2022?
Well, when Miles came on, we were still early stages on our drill program in Argentina on our Rincon West lithium property. And since then, drilling has advanced, and we've announced a series of additional holes, in all cases encountering lithium grades. You know, the grades and intersections very much along the line of what our big neighbors there next door, the Rio Tinto, have been encountering.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then most recently, just last week, you announced an intersection in your drill program of 153 meters, ranging from 329 to 393 milligrams per liter of lithium. And can you perhaps elaborate for those who are not so versed in the drilling and the values of drill results, what that means for the company?
Well, absolutely I can. For starters, I can say that's the best drill hole we've been able to pull out yet. And you know, this whole salar, the Rincon salar, or keep saying salar, but that's how they call them in Argentina. They really are Salt Lake brines, and this salar is located in Argentina, of course, within the lithium triangle, and the lithium triangle is definitely probably one of the best places in the world in which to make new lithium discoveries. More than half the world's lithium reserves are located there. So here we are drilling away on a project, and we share two other neighbors in this. This whole big lake, as we have two neighbors. One big giant in the middle is Rio Tinto that came in earlier last year, paid $825 million to buy their property in the reserve. They've got a nice large lithium resource, and the resource, if I could add, is what we call a mid-grade resource, ranging between 300 and 400 milligrams per lithium liter. So if you can get these kinds of grades over intersections between 100 and 150 meters, these are exactly the kinds of grades that both Rio Tinto and Argosy Minerals over on the eastern flank have got, and both those companies are moving towards production of lithium. So here we are. We've just recently started drilling, and we're pulling out between 100 and 150 meter intersections of grades ranging between 300 and 400. So we are, right on the button. We definitely are proving that these brines continue underneath on our property, and basically proving out our thesis, and our next step here is to continue drilling, and we're hoping by mid-year to have our initial resource calculation. So we're looking forward to a very, very exciting year this year.
Yeah, so that is unqualified great results. So that's just your Rincon West property. Now you have three other properties in Catamarca and another one in Salta. What are the status of those?
Well, we've got three other properties. We've got Rincon West is our flagship property, and our other equal flagship property, I would say, is the Antofalla property. That one is further down south. And the reason these are flagships is because they're situated on salars, or on Salt Lake brines here, that have got major companies, in one case with Rio Tinto, in Antofalla with Albemarle, which is the second largest lithium producer, and they also have a very large resource, also grading in the 300 milligram per liter range. So we own the entire northern portion of that salar. We're completely adjacent to Albemarle, and while this project is still at the permitting stage, we have great expectations here, and we anticipate that sometime in March
we'll be able to advance with our geophysical program to identify our drill targets and then commence on a year-long drilling program. So this is another very exciting. The other two projects that we've got, they are very prospective, of course, very large projects, but we're going to push them further down. We're going to focus on the low-lying fruit, so to speak, the easier targets. That's what we're talking about here.
Sure. So the area that you're in both projects, I mean, that's pretty much where all of the action is in terms of salar exploration in South America, with the exception of Chile. But there's really not much going on in Chile right now. I mean, we had a guest on last week who is a former engineer at SQM, and he told us an interesting story that, yes, there are some juniors that are operating in Chile exploring, but that they will never be able to export their lithium if they were even to get to the point where they could extract it, just because in Chile, lithium is regarded as a strategic metal and can only be exported under special circumstances by Chilean producers. That was a revelation to me. There is nothing like that in terms of restrictions in Argentina, is there?
Absolutely. Argentina is an open market. Both the governments of the provincial governments of Catamarca and Salta and the federal government are very supportive of investment in lithium, in general exploration, but very particularly on lithium exploration. They do recognize that international expertise, international funding is required. Great amounts of funding, in fact, is required in order to develop this lithium market. There are huge benefits for Argentina regardless, and they also recognize that if there's any tinkering with the market there, everybody will just evaporate, and these potential royalties to the governments will go away. So no, we're seeing great support. I don't see anything like that, like what has happened in Chile. It's a shame what's happened in Chile because they have phenomenal resources there, and we continue to get. I know we receive all kinds of offers to engage, look at exploration projects in Chile, but we constantly turn them down because while they're very prospective, at the end of the day, if you can't sell the end product, what's the point?
Right. The last time I was in Salta and Catamarca, the squeeze point in the whole lithium extraction equation was water and power, and sensitivities to water in terms of how it competes with the locals' requirements for subsistence agriculture and electrical. There just wasn't enough electricity to go around. Has that situation been rectified at all in the last 10 years?
Well, power is abundant. We specifically chose projects that are located not just for their great potential, but also in locations that have great infrastructure. And in all our projects, we're close either to a highway, to a rail, and to power lines. And water, I agree with you, it's a very precious commodity, especially for the local people. But what we're looking at a new type of technology now that's going to be extracting lithium from these brines. In the older days, we would have these evaporation ponds, which were expensive, took a long time to extract the lithium, and used up a huge amounts of water. The new direct lithium extraction techniques are much more efficient, they're quicker, they're more economic, and their reliance on water is much, much less than that. And we're very sensitive to that, and this is the new way I think that the whole industry is beginning to turn towards now.
Sure. In terms of the direct lithium extraction technologies, they are attractive because of their lower use of water in most cases, and essentially a more efficient approach than solar evaporation in terms of time required to get to the finished product. Do you have a direct lithium extraction technology that you've been testing on any of these projects at this point?
Yeah, we've just sent test samples to some direct lithium extraction technologies. There's so many of them out there right now. Some are better than others. There's a lot of innovation happening in this field. But we are looking at those direct lithium extraction technologies that have been more advanced and more proven, and we're also looking at the technologies being used by our neighbors like Rio Tinto in the next couple of years as they take their Rincon project to production. They're anticipating using direct lithium extraction technology, so we're looking at what they're doing and what works for them, and to ride sort of on their coattails.
So let me ask you this, and fully cognizant that we're talking a forward-looking statement here, and that we are both somewhat biased in our expectations, or at least our hopes for the company. How would you rank your company relative to all the other ones exploring for lithium in Argentina right now?
Well, we are, as an exploration company, I would, of course, this is what you're going to expect to hear from a CEO. I believe that we stand out from the rest, but there are good reasons for that. Number one, of course, our assets, our projects, our exploration projects are situated in some of the most up-and-coming salars that have attracted some of the world's largest lithium companies. And to be able to acquire and own property on these salars is a feat I think not many exploration companies can do. And the second thing is it's our management expertise and our experience. The management team is known as the Grosso Group, and in Argentina we are pioneers of mining in that country. We have over 30 years of continuous experience in Argentina. We have a long track record, having made 4 world-class discoveries in that country. And we've been recognized. Joe Grosso, the founder and chairman and president of Grosso Group, he's been inducted into Argentina's Mining Hall of Fame. He's been Mining Man of the Year, and that really represents the efforts of the entire team and what they've been able to accomplish in Argentina. So being able to manage, I think, effectively in Argentina, knowing how to manage a project from the risky early stages to success, I think is what really separates us. It's no different than when you're at the racetrack, to use an old analogy here. You may have a good horse, but you're always betting on a jockey, because you could have a great horse and a bad jockey, and that horse isn't going to win.
Yeah, you bet. It's all about the jockey. All right, Nicholas, we're going to leave it there for now. We'll have you back in due course. Thank you very much for your time today.
Great. Thank you very much.